I deleted all the pictures of you I had on my Instagram. You can't see it in my dreams, I hold you close just like I wish I can. It's late at night, I know you're gone, and I can't sleep cause you moved on. I wish I tried, but you're with someone else tonight. Oh, why do we end up broken hearted? Oh, running right back to where we started. Tried to make it all okay, but the end is still the same. Oh, why do we end up broken hearted? What's that show we watched together? I can just remember you and me. Flipping channels, but my mind is watching slideshows of our memories. It's late at night, I know you're gone, and I can't sleep cause you moved on. I wish we tried, cause maybe you'd be here tonight. Oh, why do we end up broken hearted? Oh, running right back to where we started. Tried to make it all okay, but the end is still the same. Oh, why do we end up broken hearted?
ready to internet. Let's get ready to internet. What's up, everybody? What's going on? Happy Monday to you all out there. All your bright and shiny faces showing up. Not with your face, but with your little avatar name in the comments. What's up, everybody? What's going on? Not really sure what that weird noise was in the background right as we started the show, but it's all good. Uh-oh, I think I got my music playing in the background. There we go. Let's turn that off. Yeah. So what's going on, everybody? It is Monday, and Alyssa said, anything I can get for free. What's going on here? Alyssa, what's your favorite fish food brand? Oh, got it. Yeah. What's up? Oh, Zen Ginger says I'm 5 minutes late. I get 3 demerits. Oh, my God. What? Do I get demerits now? Oh, I feel like I must be back in Catholic school I never went to. Very big shout out to everybody on a Monday here. As you know, this show is brought to you by Patreon and YouTube members. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this show anymore, which I think we're doing the thing while we slowly do the thing around here. You know what I mean? I gotta push the button so I can go over here so I can go. How the memberships are brought to you by. Oh yeah, let me read them all off. James Floyd, Aqua Cat, Jason Livingston, Jared Byer, Chirish, Raymond Miller, The Zen Ginger, Eric Wyrock, Aquarium Co-op, Redmont, Amy, It's Nature Man, Big Red, Terry's Tropical Tanks, Malini Victor, Wes Barshinger, Chad Krotz, Daniel Velez, Pete Berlinski, the letter S, Aubrey Wright, Josh Quickzall, Will M, Tater Hater, Wesley's Fish Club, John Martinez, Christian, Nobody 36, Fish Girl from Connecticut, Zelf Ernai, Ginger Graves, Lady Guinevere, Largemouth Bass, Paulette, D, Megan Ness, Matthew Hall, Eco Aqua, Furry Pal Grover, Alyssa Bentley, Smeel Kapoor, Jeremy Watson, Paula Kreenberg, Brian Schiller, Janice Lundberg, Tony Franzen, Aqua Seekin, Janice Lundberg, which I said twice, Stephen Allen, Craig Blaze. Oh, my God. It clicked and went all the way back up to the top. Where was Craig? Steve Bearteach, Michael Tomschick, Land Giraffe, and Jeanette, TikTok Bandit. No, Tic Tac Bandit. Rumbust, Mikey Fishy, Soren Johansson, Jason Wasco, John Allen, Johan S., Reaver, Rochelle, Frank Factor, Groveside Aquarium, Scott Schatz, Big D Smoke, Barbara Jackson, Christine Parson, Mick Irving, John Ward, Josh Peters, Grassy Peak, Daryl Deemer, The Fishy Mailman, John Gilman, James Lizer, and The Fish Tank Barn. Yeah. Well, that if you add that up real quickly, that equals 80 members on YouTube. Patreon, the patronizers, there is 170 of you. I'm not going to read all those out because I feel like that's the most boring show that's ever happened. But did I get them all correct? I don't think so. I don't think I got them all correct. But yeah, thanks to everybody who's a patron, everybody who is a member. Yeah, what's up? Tic Tac Bandit, a member? Yeah, apparently. Is that a thing? I don't know. S is wondering what's going on there. Yeah, that's all of our members. We would like to get more so we'd be able to expand the show and like get Alyssa here more often. All that kind of stuff. We'd like to do more of these shows, but I'm shoestring budgeting it right now with 80 members. So that's where we're at. That's what's up. And big thanks to all the patrons and the members out there for being awesome and tiding and being here to help, maintain the lights. Keep the lights turned on. I tried to swap them over to solar. It didn't work. It was too expensive because I'm waiting on 3 more bids anyhow, so we don't even really know what the real cost of doing business, We're going to wonder. We're going to wonder for a while until we get those other bids, and we'll see what happens. I got like 400 emails just came in. What is all this? Codes? Amazon nonsense? This is just dumb. I'm going to delete all of you. Emails. There we go. Get out of here, emails. Bye-bye. I was just like, what was all that? the computer over there freaked out and decided to tell me that there was a whole bunch of stuff. Zen Ginger says 4 months until my Olivia members badge. That is true. You guys know you get a badge in the chat and you show up green on my chat. You get highlighted on my chat. I don't know if it works with your guys' chat, but that's how it looks to me. If you're a member, your name's bright green. And all the other names are they're like light gray and drab, boring. But you do get a badge, so you know how it is. You know what I'm talking about. We do have a caller. We have a caller on the show today. Is the caller calling in? We have a caller calling in. Oh, there's our caller.
What up?
He goes by the handle I wash you man.
No, I was formerly human.
He goes by I wash human.
Yep.
Yeah. We have to let I wash human something. We gotta let him know. Happy birthday to you.
Oh.
Happy birthday to you. I was stalking you on Facebook and it told me it was your birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday, buddy. It's good to see you on the other side of 40. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I never thought I would get to this point in my life. You know?
I feel you. Like, people have that big party when they turn 40, you know, and then they get all the black balloons and they're like, hey, you're on the downslide now, bud. I feel like that's premature. I feel like the birthdays after 40 you should get, you know, because you've actually like embraced it and managed a whole year.
Right. You crossed the threshold.
Yeah, you have to get through the doorway, I think. You know what I mean?
But now I'm 42, so now I'm the answer to the universe and everything.
That's right.
So I better know some shit by now.
It's a solid move. Yeah, so happy birthday, buddy. We know well, I don't know if the chat knows, but most everybody on Discord knows that hey, you're just the beginning. You're just a beginner around here learning, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about fish. Fish is an interesting thing. Are a pleco, is that a kind of a baby shark? You know, they look kind of like a baby shark. That's my one fish question.
No, they're not like a baby shark, unfortunately. I wish they were, because that would be almost cooler.
They look very cartilaginous. Cartilaginous? Yeah.
No, they're well, I guess there are. Well, I guess there are some varietals that do eat mostly protein, but no, they're a freshwater fish.
Okay.
And most sharks are only saltwater.
True.
Carnivorous, fast-moving fish out in the ocean. You know, I think most people would represent the white shark. That's probably the most common one. There's been some movies made out of it, right? Probably
a few of those. Yeah. Even the holographic one from Back to the Future.
Definitely one of the most quotable movies of all time. It's got a lot of good quotes in there. You gonna need a bigger boat?
Yeah, that one's good.
Are you gonna need a bigger boat? Because you might.
No, I don't really go out on the water. If I'm going out to the water, I go into the water.
Or you go swimming, exploring under the sea, as it were, right?
Yeah. It's the sport that I actually lettered in high school.
Oh. Are we going way back? Are we going in the way back machine?
Well, I guess. You did post the other day that lovely 14-year-old Joel. That was such a throwback. I was like, oh my God, I know that guy.
I did. That was Discord only.
Yeah, that's
Discord
true.
only. That's for the fans. That's for the fans on the Discord. I was like, hey, I was not hatched from an egg. Just so you know.
Debatable, but yeah.
Well, if I was hatched from an egg, I was not full grown, you know, when I came out of said egg, as it were.
Yeah, very true.
Cocoon style. All right.
Yeah.
Well, what else you got for the peeps today? Oops.
People should be joining our Minecraft server. We did just update.
Oh my God, we updated the Minecraft server. It is updated. We have axolotls
Yeah.
and candles.
Yep.
Candles are in there. Amethysts. Amethysts.
Yeah. Somewhere. I haven't found one yet, but and
Shocks.
also glow squid. I think that when I got that glow squid achievement today, that's when you popped in and you were like, "Oh wait, I need to see that."
Yep, I went and swam under the water and I stabbed some glow squids. And I found an axolotl down there, and then I didn't have my bucket out, so I couldn't capture them.
Oh, you should have let me know. I had a bucket inside of that starter house. You could
I
have
just,
used.
I had a bucket. I just, I didn't think about it at the time. I was just like, oh, there's that axolotl. But there are, I have discovered there are many of them on our server. Somehow they seem to spawn all over the place. So those are easy to find.
Yeah. In fact, in my mine there on the Moo Island, there's a underwater ravine inside of my mine, which is lovely
Mm-hmm.
and unexpected. But inside of there's hundreds of them. It's super weird.
It's just super weird.
Yeah, I don't know why they decided that they need to spawn inside of the effervescent uh, ravine because it's full of like magma cubes and stuff.
I think that's
On
where
the
they,
end.
I think that's where they spawn. They like to spawn in the deep. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them anywhere in the shallow.
Yeah. And then glow squids only show up, if they're surrounded by stone or something, stone bottomed ocean.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Other players are the ones that are really going out far into the world to go get the super special items.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just on the outlands awaiting trade.
I see. All right. All right. Sounds good, birthday boy. We're going to get back to the show.
Yeah.
You have fun over there, whatever you're doing. Wait, I don't know how to mute you.
No,
Oh,
I
there
can
we
mute.
go. You can mute yourself. There you go. All right, buddy. Well, the phone lines are open. If you are on Discord, we'll see what you got. We'll see what you got. If you feel like calling in, you can. If you're on our Discord, you can call in. We got to give a quick shout out to the chat today, which was Mikey Fishy, the Zombie Drummer number 2, and Chirish 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 were Alyssa and Wesley. There were a couple good topics brought up in the early chat, and I have had some stuff written out on one of the topics. So let's jump into that. We'll get our fish stuff rocking and rolling for today because it's Monday. And we got a fish question. People want more fish content on this channel. It's motivated by you guys, okay? We used to have some people that were sponsors of the channel. They were basically there at the producer level. And they would come in and they would say every once in a while, hey, can you make a video about this topic? And I'd go like, yeah, let's do that. Those people have all disappeared from the face of the earth, a.k.a. they got tired of doing whatever they're doing. So now they're doing something else. What does that mean for you, average person? Opportunity. It's basically what that comes down to. And Zach Clark, I've never read Zach Clark's name on here before that I know of, but he was asking, or they were asking, thoughts on converting a large saltwater aquarium with a sump to freshwater. Now, I have some links here I'm going to share with you guys into the chat. So the very first part would be this one right here. That is a book. This right here is also a different book. Those two books I'm going to talk about here shortly. And if you don't own them, I would recommend picking them up. If it's something that you want to learn about is freshwater aquariums, these two books have all the information in them that you need. Time-tested, mother-approved, Bookie McBookertons that you can read with your eyeballs, or I think you can get them on Kindle or whatever. Or I don't know if they're not an audio book, I don't think. They're not an audio form. which means it's difficult for me to read books anymore because I always have stuff in my hands, or I'm walking around or climbing on a ladder or doing something like that. But regardless, books are still useful, and I am the owner of both of these books. I've set them down somewhere. One is way over there on the bookshelf. I'm not going to go get it, but I own both of these books, and the reason I want you to know about these books, we've got to talk a little bit about my story, my history, okay? When I was a young man, I had fish tanks, I had turtle tanks, I had a chameleon, I had blah, 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 all sorts of critters, multiple dogs, yada, yada, yada. I think at some point in time I lived in a house that had many ferrets and all sorts of other things. I enjoy animal husbandry and all of that kind of stuff. And at some point in time, I got away from that, which is pretty typical in the United States. When you reach into the early 20s and you become an independent human and you're living by yourself and you're doing all the things, you just don't have money or time or any of that stuff for pets, generally speaking, is the easy way to explain that situation. But as I got older and I got a little more established in life and whatnot, I realized that I want to get back into my nature stuff and doing all the things that I really like doing, and that is not going to work 20 hours a day so some other guy can buy himself a boat, if you know what I'm saying. And I wanted to get into more of that stuff. Now, at this point in time, this is probably 13, 14, 15 years ago or something like that. That just goes to show you how quickly time goes by. It's a flying. So, I don't know, put on your pants because the rodeo requires pants, I think. And so I was having some discussions with a buddy of mine, and he had wandered across a book by little-known Japanese photographer named Takashi Amano. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him. Very, very little renowned. No, I mean, I don't even think anybody else has ever heard of him ever. Anyhow, jokes aside, somebody they were tattooing brought in this book and gifted it to him as part of a payment because they didn't have money to pay for their tattoo. Very odd, very weird. Circumstances are what they are. That book got brought over. We were looking through it, and the reality started to set in that, like, hey, people are doing little tiny nature things in these little tiny nature tanks. And that is something that we might be able to do, right? That's something we might be able to do. We have a counter. We have a little tiny bit of space. So I got way into doing what is called nano aquariums, which is basically anything that is 9 gallons and below. I don't know how many liters that is. I don't want to math it right now. But tiny little fish tank aquariums focusing on growing plants. We got way into that. We started doing that. We started reading books like the Wallstad method. Started realizing, like, there's a little more science in this than just tossing some dirt in an aquarium and growing some plants in there, blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's a little bit more than we were wondering, than we were pondering about. Oh, there's some extra steps here. Oh, there's some maturing of the tank. Oh, filtration can be an issue or not, depending on your plant load or things that you have going on with how many fish you have in there, how much food you're putting in, and right? So as we kind of roll through the years and be working on this kind of stuff, I found myself with some spare extra time here and there, and I decided, hey, I'm going to go help that guy who owns this fish store. This fish store is no longer in business now. But at the time, it was like, hey, you're only doing saltwater stuff. I remember a lot of the saltwater stuff from when I was a kid and, having reef tanks and stuff like that and being around them and having done all that stuff when I was much younger. Oh, I could go help out with that. Now, the guy said, hey, you're a couple years into doing the freshwater stuff, like you know what freshwater people want, blah, blah, blah. So I started helping them out with that. Now, working at a saltwater store, a saltwater aquarium store, there's something that happens there. People come in with systems that they built that were $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 when they built them. And they go, I'm getting out of the hobby. I don't want this tank anymore. I drove it over here. What can you guys give it for me? And the reality is that the owner was like, I don't know, $100. I don't know. I'll take it out of your truck. And more often than not, people would just end up leaving that whole system there, and then he would resell it, right? Now, if you happen to be a guy like me and you're standing there and you go like, hey, I know you got that for free. I'll give you $200 for it, and we don't even have to put it in the store. We can just put it in my truck. He would go, well, I could sell it for $1,500, and I'd be like, yeah, but I could give you $200 right now. And he would go, well, considering you're going to grab the other end of it, let's just grab it. We'll put it in your truck. Who cares? Right. So I ended up starting to get some saltwater aquarium systems, which had sumps, which had skimmers, which had filter socks, which had heaters, had automatic dosing pumps, had automatic top-off systems, all this kind of stuff. You're like, wow, look at all this gear that comes with a saltwater aquarium. Now, through reading books, making tons and tons of tanks, learning how to breed freshwater shrimp, which was what I really, really, really enjoy, is plants and freshwater shrimp. That's what I really, that's what gets me right in here. You know what I mean? And so I kept working on those. I kept building those little systems. I kept building all those little systems. And then I started to adapt that to much larger systems and started to realize, oh, hey, most of the theories and things that are happening in these books can be implemented in a much better situation if you A, have more space, or B, and B, have external filtration that is happening in another aquarium, right? Like adding fertilizer. It's very easy to add and dose fertilizer into the sump because it's going to be agitated, it's going to get mixed in, and it's going to be evenly dispersed around the aquarium, for instance, as a good example. The flow is going to be increased. Controlling flow is going to be much better. Particulate filtration is much more robust and easy to maintain and easy to see what is going on with it. Adding in a ton of biological filtration, which we're all kind of looking for out of our aquariums, is super easy to dump into a sump compared to putting it into a canister filter, which I always had troubles with and was constantly changing them, messing with them, putting new hoses on them, doing all this kind of stuff, all this superfluous nonsense stuff that you don't really want to be doing, right? I was doing a lot of that stuff to maintain hang-on back filters and canister filters, which is a waste of time. It's that type of money, or it's that type of time that turns out to be a waste of money, right? If you want to minimize the amount of time that you're spending doing maintenance on your aquariums, my recommendation has always been apply a sump to the system, because you can definitely do water changes faster, you can do filter maintenance faster, you can do cleaning faster. There's a lot of things that you can do, and you can do them more robustly. It's just an overall way easier situation. So to answer the question earlier, converting a saltwater tank with a sump to a freshwater setup, yes, 100%. I definitely would recommend doing that. That's where I came from. That's how I really sort of embraced the hobby in a way that evolved into something more than just building a ton of nano aquariums, letting them run for a few months, taking pictures of them, making videos of them, and then breaking them down and redoing them again. I have tanks now that have years and years and years of longevity versus before when I only had a couple of tanks that did that. Now all my tanks are running for years and years and years without a whole lot of problems. So I just continue to do my tanks that way, and it's one of those things via research, via implementation, experience, all of those things, I've found it to be much more beneficial for me in the hobby to be going about it that way. So I would definitely recommend it. It's much more affordable also to get some used equipment like that and to repurpose a bunch of stuff so it doesn't A, end up in the dump, or B, end up with somebody that's, I don't know, probably just going to set up a crappy saltwater tank that's never really going to be that good anyhow. And one of the big reasons why I make that statement is it's very rare that you see somebody who actually has a saltwater aquarium that is admirably run. It just isn't very often. It's not very often that you see that. I see tons and tons of saltwater tanks that are like, eh. But I also see tons and tons of freshwater tanks that are kind of like, all right, that's what you're doing. Okay. So that's why realistically I got into freshwater plants, is seeing people's like SpongeBob aquariums and going like, man, it's gotta be weird to be in that space where you're like, you're like keeping a dog tied up, or like you're keeping your dog in a kennel all the time. It's like, hey man, let your dog out. Your dog's got to run around. Same with your fish and all that stuff. You want to have a nice, realistic representation of the environment that they'd want to live in. And yeah, I mean, it's just kind of my short diatribe. I only had like a few notes on this about what's going on. And Fish Tropic says it's like working at the Auto Collision Center. You don't worry about dents anymore. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're just really not gonna have those dents and stuff. Dents and dings just aren't really gonna show up if you work at a collision center. And generally, you're probably gonna end up repainting your car. So hey, looking fresh is always a good thing. VB says Pothos is very needed if you want less work. Yeah, I mean, I know that a lot of people are very excited about Pothos and the ability that it has to help maintain the water column. I don't think it's necessary. There are many, many other plants that you can grow with the roots in the aquarium and the plant emergent above the tank. The list is very long. I used to have a list that I would quick refer to, but I have no idea where it went to. But there are many, many plants that you could do other than Pothos. On top of it, you could do a lot of plants that would live under the water. I would recommend that. What are your thoughts on moving rocks from one tank to another, saltwater or freshwater? Freshwater rocks moving from one tank to another is not really that big of a deal. I normally just brush them off, clean them off, let them dry, and then move them. I've never really found a big need for disinfecting freshwater stuff. Although, if it's something that you want to do, you can. But I don't use... well, I guess I do have porous rock. I was going to say I don't use a lot of porous rock, but I do have a few types of porous rock. But generally, I would just let those completely dry out. And you're generally going to be fine. Saltwater rocks, though, on the other hand... you're taking a big chance. Moving, reef rock and stuff like that is considered live rock. I put air quotes around that because that's what it's referred to. It generally has a lot of coralline algae. Generally has a lot of all of the little bacteria and stuff like that you want to transfer over to the tank. But here's also kind of the problem is that oftentimes it comes with pests. There's just so many pests in the saltwater realm that are difficult to deal with, that these days with a saltwater tank I would recommend just going with a dry start, or if you're going to take rock from one tank to another, what we used to do with that is we would put them in an insane bleach bath. We would just basically make a bucket of super strong bleach water and leave them in there for like a week. Take them out, let them dry. All of the chlorine will evaporate into the air. That's how chlorine works. Once the chlorine has evaporated off, it's very easy to test for. Pick it up, smell it. Does it smell like chlorine anymore? Smell like a swimming pool? Nope. Okay. Pretty good to go. You can rinse it off in a little bit of fresh water if you want, but that's just kind of like an extra step that you probably won't need if you've let it dry out. Then you can move it over to another tank. and go from there. But also bear in mind, if you're moving over saltwater stuff that you have bleached, oftentimes you're going to see a lot of spikes with calcium, magnesium, stuff like that is going to spike because, generally speaking, those rocks are breaking down and become oxidized from the drying process. So just be aware that some stuff is going to go into the water column, but I don't necessarily recommend, just adding a bunch of rock to a saltwater tank while it's running anyhow. So, that's just kind of a thing that I wouldn't do normally. I guess an easy way to transition is that you could cycle it in the sump. If you're running a reef and you have a sump, you might be able to clean the rock, let it run in the sump for a little while, and then be testing and figure out what balance shift has happened, mitigate for that, then bring it up to the top tank once it's been down there for a month or two or something like that. The measuring spoon will be for measuring. They just feed 1 scoop of that. I need pothos to help be my safety net since I only do 10% per week. I added as a safety net since I'm gone for 11 days. I'll have someone feed it every other day using a measuring spoon. We actually talked about this a while ago. When you're out of town, I don't recommend the measuring spoon method. I like the hold on. We looked this up last time, and people gave me a bunch of grief that these are drug baggies, but if you look up drug baggies on Amazon, this is legit. The link that comes up is the little baggies that we're talking about. I prefer to use these, pre-measure the food, and then tape it to the front of the aquarium. You tape it to the front of the aquarium, and then just write Mon 2 Wednesday, Tues Wednesday, Thursday, Friesday, right? You know what I'm saying? You write just write the days on there. Then people can the people that are watching your tank while you're out of town can just pull that off and go, it's Wednesday. They can just open up the little baggie, dump the food in there that you have pre-measured for them. It's no fuss, no muss. And, this is 400 bags. So let's say you had 10 aquariums and you were out of town for 40 days. It would be sufficient, right? So maybe you could buy the lesser amount of baggies. Maybe that's too many. But regardless, it's only $10. So $10, a little bit of work on your end to pre-portion the food, to set it up. But I've seen hundreds and hundreds of horror stories where people were like, I told them it's only 1 scoop of this or a pinch of this. People don't remember. People that aren't fish keepers, that don't have aquariums, and if they're coming to watch your aquarium while you're out of town, they will screw something up. Or they'll try to call you because the filter is making a funny noise, or there's just a million things that they're going to call you for. It's just, if you can make it the easiest possible for them, then they can do it. You don't have to worry, and it's going to be a much nicer vacation where you're like, hey, I don't have to worry that much. You know what I mean? That's my recommendation. But yeah, that's the route I would go if I'm going out of town. And in fact, I will be going out of town for a long, long time, and I would like you guys to be aware of that. So I'm letting you guys know now. It's going to happen. I'm going to go out of town, and I'm going to film a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to be gone for a really long time, and it's not very long from now when that happens. As Fish Tropic says, you trying to get to 100 members. Yes, we would like to get to 100 members. We were at 100 members before, and then a bunch of people left because they didn't have any money. Yeah. They were like, look, I don't have any money. I got to go. And I said, hey, you got to go back to work? I trust you. It makes sense. But we did get a $1 super chat today, so that is working. Mike Kinseth with a $1 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Am I trying to get to 100 members? Yeah, I'm trying to get to 1,000 members, realistically, is where we want to be. You know what I mean? Like 1,000 members would be reasonable. Then I could afford to pay Alyssa to be here, and we could do more shows, and we could do more edited content. You know what I mean? So yeah, we want to get there. That's what we want to do. I guess
Hey,
nobody
Joel.
is going to Cuba. What? Hello?
Hi, Joel.
Hey.
Hey, I thought I would, as a non-fish person, I just wanted to chime in and say, yes, the way you label the bags, the way you set it up for success for non-fish people, is the way to keep your fish tanks alive.
I've seen a lot of people screw this up over the years where it's like, well, I don't know what happened, but he added the whole container to the tank somehow.
Well, I
You
only
know.
need to feed them once if I do that, right? They'll meter it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out, right?
Right, right.
Yeah,
I don't know fish. Like, if your fish tank was making a bad noise, would I know? Or is that the noise it's supposed to make?
right. Exactly.
No idea.
No idea.
Oh.
No clue.
Also, don't leave me in charge of your fish.
Well, if I did, I would leave it step by step. You know, you get those
Uh-huh.
little baggies there, and you know, things would be set up so that you could just legit like, oh, okay, this says Monday,
Mhm.
and today's Monday, so yeah, and you could leave them with instructions that like, hey, look, if you miss a day, just don't feed, just don't, you know.
Don't be like, oh, I need to make up for that day that I missed.
Yeah, you don't want to double up. You don't want to double up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought I would just chime in since I'm in the call with that because that's the one perspective I can provide you.
Yes, yeah. Well, there we go. So, I think Matt has been asked to like, you know, it's like, have you ever had to like house sit for somebody's like, because you have cats. I don't have cats. I'm not a big cat fan. It's just a personal preference, right? It's not that I hate cats. I just don't want to own one. But I've had to like stop by and, you know, change the
box thing.
box, change the litter box, check the food, check the water, you know, and then it's like, well, how much food do I put out here for this cat? Because it looks like there's a big giant bowl here and it ate some of it out of the side, you know, and then it's like, well, I don't know, it's got like some cat hair in it and it looks a little funky. I'm just going to throw this all away and then put some more in there. And then I realized that there wasn't like another supply of the cat food. Does this make sense? Like there wasn't a bag in a cupboard that I could find, you know?
Oh,
Which it might have been somewhere and I didn't know where it was, right?
but you didn't know where the food would be.
It's true.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, I looked around, but there is a point where you're like invading privacy, you know what I mean?
I suppose this is true.
Like the cat food isn't in their bedroom top drawer, you know what I mean? Like it's
No.
not there, right? So
Probably
I would
not.
never even bother to look there, right? But you look through some cabinets and stuff and you're kind of like, well, I don't know what's going on here. And then you start to kind of think like, maybe I should go get some cat food, but
But you don't know what kind to get.
yeah, I don't know what kind to get.
Right.
And I'll tell
Like,
you,
I got special food cat for our cats because they got
Yeah.
kidney issues, right? Like
yeah,
so.
exactly.
And also, we have bulk cats, so
That's right.
we have a cat closet
You
where
can
all
make
of
it like
that stuff is laid out.
you can
with
make
detailed
like
instructions.
you can make like a cats by the dozen. We could do a sketch of cats by the dozen, like it was a what do you call it? What do you call that thing? Musical, like a musical. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
It could be like
Mhm.
cats by the dozen, yeah. You know, I mean, it would be cheesy, but
Yes.
but we could put it on YouTube and just imagine the costume design, you know, all of those things would be so glorious that people would be like, wow, this must be, you know, and I was going to say, what's the Manuel Miranda, what's his one about? His is about Hamilton, right? I was going to say, hey, maybe this is the new Hamilton, but I think that's a big stretch. Maybe it'll be the next Hannibal instead. You know what I mean?
Concerning, sure.
Yeah. Because it could be about cannibal cats. You know what I mean?
Which
Cannibalistic
cats will
cats.
do. If you die in your house, they will eat you.
Well, if a cat eats a human, that's not cannibalism.
That's true. That's predation. No,
That's
if they
yeah.
eat, but after they eat you, they will start to eat on each other.
Oh, that's true. They'll fight to the death, won't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they won't be
Yeah.
able to get out the window. They don't know how to do that.
No, that lack of
From
thumbs.
I know from
Yeah.
many years of experience with the cat that I grew up with that they want to get through the window because they want to eat the squirrel, right?
Hmm.
They
But they
don't know
wouldn't know
how.
what to do with it once they got it.
Well,
Also, they lack thumbs, so opening the window is a little like, tough.
yeah, they don't know how to do it. They just don't know how. It
Right.
baffles them.
Right. They'll
Oh
just
my
paw
god.
at the glass, hoping that it will magically change.
Oh my god. We have two new members. We've broken the algorithm, folks. How do we have two new members? Now I got to
Well,
go 81. Linda Worth is member number 81, and Sunwise has returned at the standard level to put us up from 81 to 82, which is putting us closer to our 100 goal, right? Is that our goal? Somebody was, oh, that's right. Fish Tropic was asking, was our goal 100? And I said, no, it's 1,000. Because the goals have to be unattainable, right? Isn't that how that works with goals? That you're like, I could
well,
run a mile, but my goal is to run 1,000 miles. And then you're like, well, I just fail forever, right? And so
right.
you can never actually feel bad about what's going on because,
No, you need to have the moving goalpost goal.
although, yeah, that one's good too. I like that one. Hey, what do you
That
think about,
scope creep goal.
Yeah. Aubrey Wright says, hot take, cats as an invasive species.
Oh,
Ooh.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's as a person that has a herd.
that's right. Well, I think, well, yeah, I mean, cats are. See, that's the thing is like, I don't know if cats would be a naturally invasive species, right? Like, we
Um,
literally, like, we carry them around and take them places. Like, they wouldn't just.
no, they wouldn't meander outside of their regional zones.
Right.
Otherwise, we would have panthers in places that don't normally have panthers.
That's right, because there's still food there for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
they are definitely invasive, and they do a lot of damage where they're at, if they're on the loose. And I
yeah.
remember somebody was telling me that what was it? Oh, they were like, oh, well, these cats, they kill all these creatures and blah blah blah, and then they were like, the answer is to just keep all your cats inside all the time. And I was kind of like, I see where people are coming from with that one. It doesn't feel right to me, though. I don't know. It feels a little bit weird. Because your cats are all inside, right?
Ours are all inside, although we do occasionally bring one or two of them outside
Mm.
under supervision for, general exploration of grass and to think that they can maybe catch a bird, perhaps. But the reason that we have the volume of cats that we do is because we swooped them from our backyard continuously as the mom cat kept having them
Oh,
until
right.
until we finally caught her.
Right.
So,
Last time that happened, I was clearing a bunch of land for the aquarium co-op. A bunch of sticker bushes had taken over. And as a work project, it was like, hey, we need to get all this cleared. And it was like, hey, that's something I like to do. I like to whack bushes, you know what I'm saying? And so I was knocking down all these bushes, and I was listening to, God, what was I listening to? Like early on, I was listening to some pretty heavy death metal, but I do recall that a new Mastodon album had come out at the time, and I was listening to sort of the part of the track that was kind of chill. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, here's an acoustic guitar breakdown, and then I was hearing these weird sounds while running over my gas. I have
if this
a
is
gas
going
trimmer.
anywhere near like you hurt cats, then I'm gonna have to stop you. You didn't like
No,
weed
yeah.
off any cats or like mow any cats, right? Like
No,
I
this
just
isn't a
want.
Fargo. This isn't a Fargo story. No.
Okay,
So
okay.
I kept hearing these weird sounds, right? And I was like, "What is this weird sound I'm hearing?" So I'm like, man, this record is weird. Like, why would you have these weird sounds in this record? This doesn't even go with, like it's just not even following the tempo, you know. Anyhow, so I'm like, okay, take my headphones off. I'm like, oh, I can hear the sound still, right? Okay, what is that? So I turn off my whacker, and it's like,
Disturbing.
oh, there's little cat sounds up there in the shrubbery. So I'm like, okay. So I go get my manual tools. I put away the power tools and I start clipping away, and then I find little cats, little micro-sized, tiny micro cats, and they
Hmm.
were in there running around in the brush, all confused because their eyes hadn't opened yet. They couldn't even see where they were going. They were going through
Oh, they're in the jelly.
echolocation. I think they were
Yeah,
in bat mode.
yeah. The fuzzy jelly bean stage.
Yeah, they were in bat mode, and they were like going around, like all wobbly and doing echolocation. So then I'm like, well, hey, whose cats are these? And no one was around, and no one claimed the cats. So I just kind
I
of
guess
yelled.
yours
I
now.
yelled into the sky, "Whose cats are these?" And no one answered. So I was like, okay, they must be unclaimed. So I scooped them up, and they were. And then I saw a mama cat rustling about, and it ran off far, far away. And then I think it was eaten by an eagle. I'm not sure. But I was like,
That
okay, so there goes the mom cat. The mom cat's mad. Crap. Now I've got echolocation bat cats that are tiny. What do I got to do? And needless to say, took them in, and Corey's wife like bottle fed them, and then got them taken care of. They got to the eye open stage, and then took them in to get them. They got adopted like super fast. So
Yeah,
it was
kids
kind of
always.
it was a good story because there wasn't any death in there other than the part that I made up about the eagle eating the mom cat. But that
Yeah,
part wasn't real. The cat was just pissed and ran off.
yeah. She abandoned her kittens.
Yeah, sometimes you got to get pissed and run away if you're a cat.
Yeah, you just lowered the overall predation in your area, by X number of cats, which is good.
It's true. Well, and then once I cleared that land, then the coyotes were coming back through there again. So it was like, oh, I guess one thing shall be replaced by another.
Yeah, but I think the coyotes are at least a native. Yeah.
And then I sung the Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata? Is that how it goes?
No worries.
Right. Or the
Hmm.
Circle of Life. I don't know. Something from The Lion King. You know what I mean. It was good. Oh, shoot. I'd probably just got a copyright claim from Disney. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, good thing we got some members in a super chat today, because that means we're doing all right.
More people should be members. The Discord is quite lively.
The Discord is lively. I don't think people understand what the Discord is.
I didn't either, because though I am a computer person, social media is different. And the
Right.
Discord is such a unique space to share ideas and stuff. Like the thrift shop is really cool for being able to resell all of the different, like if you got stuff to sell or you got stuff that you need to buy, that thrift shop's a really handy spot there. In the project corner, everybody's DIY projects hanging out in there. Super interesting to follow along at what people are doing and building.
Yeah. And it's always great to be able to like check in with people without like, okay, 4,000 other people are commenting now that I built the thing wrong or whatever the hell. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's a little bit weird. Like Facebook is garbage. I think we all understand that. Like Facebook is trash. Twitter is just a nightmare of.
Everything.
It's nightmare fuel. It's like just pure nightmare fuel. Then there's like some other, I mean, there's I don't know what's another one. Like TikTok is a nightmare. Like,
Yeah, I don't get the TikTok, but I think that might be a generational thing.
well, I don't know. I mean, the reality is that like TikTok is just a straight up advertising algorithm. Like it's just literally like we're just gonna figure out what you like to watch, and because every single thing is 45 seconds long, like you'll be here for the rest of your life. I don't even have TikTok because it's just so stupid. I've watched
Yeah,
a couple things on
Jody
there and
got
you
it.
realize, huh?
Yeah, Jody got it for her art, right? So, because
Right?
it is a place for creatives to engage.
Yeah.
That is an interesting platform there, right? But at least with the but it feels ephemeral, right? Like you see something and then like it's gone forever.
Pretty
It feels
much. Yeah. You're like, oh, how do I find that? I don't know. I don't know how to find that now. And it's
yeah.
like, well, hey, here's 30 other people who do something kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. At least the Discord has the a permanence, right? Like there's file repositories, you can check out that image, you can transfer stuff between people. Yeah. Plus it's got the voice, right? We're having conversation now.
That's how we're having the phone call. People can call in.
Yep.
Yeah. Everywhere you go, Corvus, it's a bunch of moon sheep. Okay, I don't know what moon sheep are. And I probably just did I just get canceled? I probably got canceled, right? What are moon sheep? I'm gonna look this up. What are moon sheep? I'd like to know what I said.
Your search history, man.
My search history is absurdism. It's a level of madness that even I can hardly deal with. Okay, let's see. By J.W. Burton in 1981 is the moon sheep is a feminine principle in Atuat cosmology. Crap. Now we got to look up Atuat. What is that? A-T-U-O-T. What is that? Atau. No, that's not right. Ethnicity, an aspect of Nilotic ethnology. Claim a common origin with newer yet you have imagined. Oh man, we're going down a deep rabbit hole here,
I
buddy.
was just
Yeah,
gonna say
everybody,
you're going to rabbit hole.
hold on to your butts. We're going down a rabbit hole, buds. Okay, anyhow, we'll leave the Atuat cosmology part for later. But it says, sometimes I see her in the afternoon, high in the east-west, two-thirds full, a pale and modest cloud looking spirit-like in these daylight scenes. Well, that's Thoreau. Yeah, the moon. This is the moon is a sheep. I don't know. I don't know. Moon sheep is something from Wiki Fandom. Okay, I'm thinking this might be what the reference is.
Is it a pop culture reference that we don't get?
I don't know. I mean, all right. I'm gonna look this up later. This seems to go.
Weird.
This seems to go into the deep dark.
Yeah, we've reached
Somethings.
the age where now we have to figure it out.
Oh,
It's like,
I've always been of that age. I forget who it was, but one of the community colleges I went to, there was a very angry English teacher there who was very angry, and he was very grouchy, and he was very grouchy with me on a regular basis. And although he kept appointing me as one of the editors for the college magazine, which was ridiculous. Anyhow, he brought up to me something that I have found on numerous occasions. So he's not the inventor of this. Probably some Harvard somebody or something came up with it a long time ago. But it's basically the premise that smart people run into something that they don't know, and so they shall investigate, right? Like if you're reading in a book and there's a word there that you don't know what it is, instead of continuing reading, you shall stop and go like, oh, what's that word? Let me get my dictionary out and I'm going to go look at it and go like, okay. So whilst trying to absorb information, you're not just skipping past information that you didn't learn, right? Dumb people will just keep moving on. They just plow right ahead and just assume that they've learned something and just continue reading without acknowledging their own deficit, right? And yeah, like a much quicker way. He's just like, dumb people skip over it, smart people will stop. You know, and I have always taken that to account when I'm reading something and I go like, oh, I don't know what it is. When I don't know what that is, I just try to stop and like investigate what it is. But I don't know what the moon sheep are, and I'm gonna have to check up on this later. Yeah. And S says, goodbye, moon men. Okay. I'm 42, and I can kill some serious time and brain cells on TikTok. Stupid algorithm gets me every time. That's right. Zen Ginger, I mean, it's just literally like it's fabricated. It's a fabricated representation of the algorithm, how it just wants to feed you stuff, and you just keep watching stuff over and over again. That's what it's all about. That's why I haven't really gotten into it, because my many years of experience with YouTube and seeing people like feed into the algorithm, I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to get onto an app that legitimately is just all that, you know. So I just never really got into it. But I've seen a lot of TikTok because they're on YouTube and stuff. Let's see. Sheep from the moon. It's quite simple. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out later. Maybe it's a Canadian thing? I don't know. Sunwise says, what is this? I must know everything. That's right. I mean, I don't know if it's a matter of like knowing everything, but when you encounter things, it's ultimately a better... I think it's just a better way to engage with life, that you would try to have a better understanding. And it's one of the reasons I'm willing to talk about pretty much like any topic and stuff like that, is that I always want to have a better understanding of like where people are coming from, what it is that they're talking about, blah, blah, blah. So I've always been of that nature, just sort of naturally. Like, I like to talk with people. I like to see what's going on with their thought process and what it is that they're landing on. And I think we're noticing now in 2021, it's taken us this long, it's taken us this many years, where we've noticed that there's been all sorts of groups of people able to embrace like these like fake conspiracy theories, if only to make money off people on the internet and stuff. You know, where it's like vaccine hesitancy and whatnot, where it's just like it's all fabricated nonsense, and people are just embracing that these days, and we're realizing that like the inquisitive minds are becoming fewer and fewer, you know? And I think that's very problematic. And I think it has to do with people's reluctance to talk about things that they disagree with, or, you know, what? And it's often referred to as like politics. Like, I don't talk politics. It's like, well, somebody's making the laws where you live because they've been voted in. Would you like to know what's going on, or have some kind of opinion on what's going on? Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing. Now, if you're ADD and need to know everything, you don't. Those rabbit holes are numerous and frequent. I would highly recommend, if you're ADD, getting a piece of paper and writing down what it is that you're doing. Take notes. Take notes. Take notes. Take notes. Write things down. Make lists. 100%. Need new music? Check out my fish friend and his band camp, his band Carp Tree at Corvus. Maybe. I've gotten a lot of band like check out this band stuff in my life, and I would say that the victories are hit and miss, and more often miss than hit, I would think. Delicious coffee. It's like my favorite thing. Let's see. Place prime in a break in case of emergency case. Oh. From the vacation talk earlier? Yeah, you just put some CChem prime in there just in case. Let's see. Okay, so our other topic of the day that I have notations here. I have notes. I have notes of other thing to talk about during the show today, which is rebuilding the fish room. And as you guys know, Vicky and I have done a bunch of remodeling to the house. We've done a bunch of changes here. And one of the things that we want to do is build a new garage. And we're just calling it a fish room because it's relatable to you guys, right? If I say fish room, you guys perk up and your ears go like this. And you go like, what? What are you doing? It's a big garage, and the fish room will move to the new garage, which will essentially be a new fish room, right? And we're continually running into roadblocks of, I want to build it bigger than the city will allow me to build it here. So we're trying to get some variance stuff done about whether or not we'll be able to. The prices of everything during the pandemic have gone completely sky high, through the roof, out of control, wild. Purchasing materials, that kind of stuff. It has gone bonkers. And it's becoming a little bit apparent to me that this project might be too much for our budgeting right now. Whether or not that is going to change over the next couple months, I got my fingers crossed. I got my fingers crossed that some things will improve market-wise on some of that stuff, like purchasing the building, bringing in equipment for the groundwork, for being able to pour the cement foundation that needs to be poured. We're going to kind of see how things shake out here in a little bit. It's looking budgetarily out of the budget right now. The realistic cost, if I hire somebody to build it, is $110,000. And that is a level of absurdity that there's no way that I'm ever going to spend $110,000 on a building. That's just not going to happen. Unless it's a brand new property or something somewhere. like, that's just nuts. That's just crazy. I'm not going to do that. So what we have budgeted out to build the building out of a steel building instead is probably going to be in the range of like $48,000, something like that altogether, because we got to do all the groundwork back there, because right now it's off grade. We need to tip into the we need to tap into the main sewer drain out there. We need to draw water going all the way back there. We need to draw power going all the way back there. There's a lot of stuff kind of going into that. Fish Tropic says, shipping container, man. As much as I would like to build something out of shipping containers, they're not optimal for long-term building. It's something we could do. But the big issue is that shipping containers are not considered a dwelling in the area where we're at. So all the modifications, everything would have to be done to it. And the cost to even get a shipping container now, with how expensive they are, they were about $1,600 before the pandemic to buy one and have it delivered and dropped off from a guy that we know that runs a shipping container place. Right now, you can't even get one realistically, and they're about like $4,000 or something like that. So let's say if you take 3 of those, you're already looking at $12,000 to buy the steel building as a big giant flat pack is about $18,000. So, it's kind of one of those things. It's $18,000. You add in tax, you add in shipping, assembly. It's going to cost. The groundwork back there is about $10,000. The plumbing's about $5,000. The electrical's about $5,000. Blah 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 blah. You start to add everything up, you get to about to the point where it's about $50,000, and that might be out of our budget. We're just going to continue going along here and see how much things are going to cost, and if we can get approval on it. Secret History says, holy crap, how many square foot is 110 10K building. That's wild. Well, if you're talking about like a 1,200 square foot building, it's about right. It's about right because, you know, add the zeros on a finished building is about what it would have cost for about a 1,200 square foot building. Sorry to spam, but have you heard of Quonset huts? I don't think I've heard of Quonset huts. Let's look these up. Quonset huts. Yeah, Quonset huts are these round garages. I've built some of these. We built one in Alaska for a family member. We put one of these together. These are a huge pain in the ass, and they cost way more than is like sort of advertised. Basically, it's like really sneaky. So like, here's a DIY building for a Quonset hut. Let's look up one right here. So this is like, yeah, Steel Master. These guys are normal. This is like a normal building. Let's see, kit. Can we find one? Pricing. Oh no, you have to email these guys for pricing, which is always interesting. Why do I need to email you for pricing? Washington, Steel Quonset hut. Yeah, you have to get a quote. Yeah, it's always one of these things where it's like they're fishing for your information. Most companies that are a reasonable company, they'll have a price for what their building is. So, I mean, it would take me a while to find somebody who's posting a price that's the actual price for the building. Here we go. Steel buildings. Do you have pricing, this company? Yep, here's a company right here that actually has the pricing. So here's an industrial commercial garage kit. Average discount off retail price is $11,400. So that doesn't mean that it costs $11,400. That's the discount price off retail price. So how much is the price? What's the price then? Yeah. So dealing with this stuff is kind of a huge pain in the butt to try and get pricing from people. There are a lot of people that I can call for actual pricing and stuff like that, but to do it live right now online, it's just one of those things. Fish Tropic says 110 to just go start a fish store. Yeah, so Connor Max has heard. I don't know a ton about them, just like the looks of it. I think that they're really good design because they handle snow load really well for that kind of application. But for a usable space, rounded walls like that, generally we'd end up with a lot of wasted space for what we're doing. So what I'm planning on building is essentially going to be like a 1.5 story. So full height, 10 foot, and then plus an overhead storage area. That's sort of the pseudo walkable area up above is basically what our goal is, to be able to just kind of have all that like camping gear and crap like that doesn't need to be used all the time, kind of storage area. And then down below, be able to partition it off into 3 rooms so that one of them can be the fish room, one of them can be the wood shop area, and then another one can be the other office and probably a bathroom and all that kind of stuff, workspace. Oh my God, it must be 3:14 p.m. We just got the milk. We just got the milk notification, you guys. That's right, pay the milkman. Oh, Monday. It's good that we get this notification on Monday at 3:14. I don't know why it does that. Every Monday, 3:14 p.m., I get a notification to pay the milkman. It's bizarro world. We're just out here living in Bizarro World. You know what I mean? Anyhow, so I think those rounded buildings are great for storage in a snow load area. It's fantastic, but I don't think it's necessarily going to work out great for what the application that we want to do. I think that was one of the biggest complaints with those, with almost every single person I talk to. You end up with a lot of wasted space. Is a store not a good idea? I wouldn't say that a store is a good idea at this point, but it really depends on the area that you're in, how much it's going to cost for you to run it. Is it something that you can run yourself, have it be a sustainable thing? This last weekend, I was supposed to go film. I was supposed to go film a store so that I could do the last part of a big video project that I worked on. And I was unable to go film it because Mr. Chip's surgery. If you guys don't know, Mr. Chips had his gallbladder removed. A lot of money for surgery, and he needs a lot of care. Although he's getting much better. Today he's unfortunately getting to the point where he might injure himself because he's feeling well and he's starting to run around. But this whole last week, we have to take him out every time. We have to carry him out on a little homemade gurney to go outside, to go to the bathroom, take him back in, try to keep him from jumping onto stuff and running around and going crazy. So we'll see. We'll see how well he does, but it just was not going to work to be able to go all the way down to Oregon with the dog, with the trailer, with our kids. Well, we have one kid, but with our kid and Vicky and all that stuff, and do all that and try to do all this like medications and taking him out and blah, 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 blah. So it was like, oh, crap. Well, we're going to have to put that off. So I'm hopefully going to try to fit that in this week. If not, I might be able to do it next weekend, but I don't know. We'll see. I was hoping to have that video all done before August rolled around, but now a whole bunch of stuff got dropped on my plate, and we're gonna probably wait on that stuff. Because let's be honest here, guys. If my YouTube channel was bigger, I would definitely have to prioritize it over the other stuff, but that's the problem that I have. I continue to run into is that, like, crap, I'm going to have a mortgage payment forever, so, you know. Aubrey says, I have wanted to use a Quonset building as a roof and semi-loft area. I don't know what that means. I'm confused by that. I don't know how that would work with the rounded top. I don't know. It's confusing to me. Joel, do you have any brackish tanks, or have you before? I'm looking for any tips on keeping mangroves alive. I never had a lot of I've never had a lot of serious success keeping mangroves alive. Except for many, many years ago, we had one that flourished like crazy, and it did really well. And then I got some mangroves a while ago when I went to Reefworks, and they sort of just stagnated and chilled, and were just there, not really doing a whole lot. But yes, I've had brackish tanks in the past. And to be brutally honest, they're heavily limiting. Realistically for me, because there's not a whole ton of stuff that you can do with them. It's sort of like once you have it set up, you could just sort of kind of maintain it. There's not a whole lot of fish options. There's not a whole lot of shrimp options. There's not a whole lot of options of things to do. So it just kind of stagnated for me. And then, and I just kind of got to a point where it was like, maybe this tank isn't for me. I got rid of the fish and had them move on down the road. And then I rescaped it into probably like an Iwagumi tank or something like that. A big rock with dwarf baby tears, HC, Hemianthus cuba. right? And then it was probably like that for a while, and then I put shrimp in it or something. I don't know. I have to like come clean on the reality that like I did Iwagumi tanks for a long time, because I got like profoundly entranced by the just the style of them, where it's just like, oh, there's 3 big rocks and a carpet of plant. Pictus guppies, nerite sails, amano shrimp. Yeah, those are all viable. There was a long time where I got like really excited about halophytic plants and whatnot, and researching those and messing around with a lot of plants. I did find, in my experience with the brackish tanks, that like if you have a brackish tank and you're growing halophytic plants emergent above the water, they'll just grow like crazy. And it was really kind of like, oh, that's easy button, and was kind of like, yep, that's that. The challenge was researching, locating, and then, but the actual execution was not that difficult, because it's like, if you've got salt in the water and you've got fresh water, most of the stuff's going to do pretty well, you know? So just kind of general crappy information, I guess, but yeah. This is sponsored by Affordable Steel Housing. I wish Affordable Steel Housing would sponsor my channel. Hey, where you at, Affordable Steel Housing? Come sponsor my channel. The mangroves are from my mud skippers, and I can't keep any of the crypts or java alive in the salinity. That's true. I couldn't keep java fern or any cryptocorini alive in brackish. I've tried them numerous times and was like, the rumor is true. These plants don't like salt. I wanted them to have some plants other than the algae that grows on their sand and rocks. Mangroves are a good idea. What's that grass? Halophytic grass. Let's see if I can find my search history here. Cord grasses are pretty easy to find if you can find a beach. There's pretty much any kind of cord grass is gonna grow really well. Spartina is what it's normally referred to as. You can generally find it at a lot of nurseries. This one, the Sporbulus, is a big clump kind of grass, but it's kind of boring once it gets going. That plant is boring. Oh no, here we go. Yeah, so this one, I don't know how to say this correctly. Aluropus, I think, is right. Aluropus. I'll copy what I highlighted here. Copy. Paste. There we go. This is a cool halophytic plant. Should grow emergent. This is a cool plant that will grow. Copy. Paste. But you're basically looking for halophytic plants. So if you have a local nursery, now this isn't going to be a fish store or anything like that, but if you go to a local nursery and you you're asking for halophytic plants, so you're basically looking for anything that's going to grow on the shoreline and stuff like that. Most people that work at the nursery, they'd be like, well, I don't know. But if you have a couple of the genus here, they may have some of these plants that can do well in like a mud skipper tank, for instance, where you do have above water areas and stuff like that, exposed areas, rockery and things like that. And because you're going to have that salinity there, you want plants that are going to thrive in that. And most of the plant nurseries that you go to, if you had some of these species, you go like, hey, here's what I'm kind of looking for. This is what I need them for. and go that route. Oh, Paspalum vaginatum. Yeah, we Zen Ginger. We do use that language around here. Why not? There's nothing wrong with vaginas. Anyhow, if you were to go to a nursery, you're probably going to be able to find some of these species, and you'll probably have a lot better success than with the specificity that mangroves require. It's just kind of the recommendation that I would go down, and it would probably realistically be a little more interesting for the average person, because mangroves do grow pretty slowly. They're not going to go doing much robust changes or spreading around or doing a whole lot. You're just going to be kind of bored with them, I would say, in my experience. Oh my God, did I even tell people to hit the like button today? Oh my God, we have to hit the like button, you guys. We had 2 new members today and a singular super chat, So, yeah. Duckweed survived a 0.5% solution for 1 month in one of my ponds. Gets tiny and turns yellow-white, but didn't die. From the 0.5% solution of what for 1 month? Chirish, what are you talking about? I didn't see. This one time at band camp was the last thing. No, I think that's the last thing you said. Put them in the ground and link them together. Underground fish cave. Fish Tank Barn says, I would wait. Steel prices are super high right now. Everything's super high right now. So that's kind of the issue, is that as far as us building the new building, everything price-wise is super high right now. So we're going to see what shakes out over the next couple months. If we find something that can sit within our budget and it's something that we could go ahead on, we're going to do it. Otherwise, it's, otherwise right now, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be problematic. And, you kind of, do you regret going like, man, we should have done this last year or whatever? But, it's always going to be like, now is the time. I forget who said now is the time. Somebody did here. Fish Tropic said it's now or never. I mean, it's not necessarily now or never. I mean, I do like to have a plan and know what's happening and things like that. But I would prefer to go on things than not. But it doesn't mean that you should go to on something when you're ill prepared to go at it just for the sake of starting. It's like I don't know. I remember somebody was giving out the advice that like you should just do a thing because once you start it, now you're committed. But it's goofy advice. Get a good little plan together and then start. I'm leaving the voice chat because no one else is calling in. Okay. Yeah, no one else has called in. The 190-gallon aquarium on the Discord. That is a nice looking aquarium. Anyhow, I've thought about dumping duckweed in my brackish tank and taking it out 2 days later just to see if it absorbed the nitrates so you don't have to measure and do water changes as much. I don't think I would do that personally. But you could. Chances are, brackish water, and you put the duckweed in there, it's all probably just going to die. Salinity. Okay, so 0.5% solution. So what you'd want to do is kind of figure out what your specific gravity is, because I'm not sure what a 0.5% solution for 1 month in one of the ponds. So, yeah, I mean, I'd have to figure out, like, what the specific gravity is on your salt so that we kind of know what's going on there. But, yeah, generally adding salt with duckweed means that it's going to die, Hard drive. I lost a hard drive somehow, you guys. I don't know. There was a hard drive, and I'm supposed to install it in a thing, and it's lost. I don't know. It's in a box, even, and it's lost. Very bizarre, and I just remembered that, so I'm talking about it with my mouth. Anyhow, that's the Monday show. we got 2 new members today, which is radical. Thank you very much to Linda and Sunwise for becoming members today. Very much appreciate it. I don't know how many likes for Alyssa to come on Friday. I think you guys know that we're gonna try to get Alyssa to come on Friday regardless. So I don't think you guys are falling for that anymore. But anyhow, yeah.